Crying.
Crying.
Sir.
22 all the time. Crying. He says, I can't move on. Beware of the man. Ron. He mentioned Ron. Ron Delsoner? They seem to have been best buds, Ron. You can't hide from your past. Participate. Yes, it's me. We're talking to Clive Davis today.
My name is Joan.
Clive motherfucking Davis. Sicko. Allegedly. Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. My name is Patience. I'm your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. We're here getting a higher perspective of a linear view with our 5D news, with our spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle, Mish, Mirabelle, Mantis. Everyone has a spirit team because everyone has a soul, and that soul doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the big G-O-D. Listen, people have to die eventually. We don't come here to live forever. So there's going to be some things that we want to ask. Now, I don't know.
Mortuary.
Okay, thank you. I was just going to say that I don't know how to say this. Let me not say that. I'm not going to say that. But we're going to try to pick up on the energy of Clive Davis to get a higher perspective of his linear view. I don't know if it's going to be Clive. If he's ready, he might be in the truth booth for a little bit because he's stuck. He thought he was going to soul jump or whatever they thought they were going to do, but that's not allowed anymore because it's a different energy. There's no more soul jumping. Okay, there's no more body jumping. Once it's done, it's done. Okay, God. Now, God's locking up and throwing away the key, at least for a little bit, because these humans, man, they run amok and they gotta heal. Okay, so there's lots of messages I'm getting. Throat shakalaka, get out of here. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Frosted Cupcake. I appreciate you. Hello, gamer. Fukoku gamer. Can I be managing moderator to help filter trolls?
Liam.
No, I'm sorry, I don't do the moderation. I already have a couple, and I just kind of let the trolls do their thing, you know, because they gotta try to harvest energy, and they have to learn that not every live can be harvested. So I just let them be. But thank you so much. Okay, so we're talking to Clive Davis. My throat hurt at the end. These fools are trying to get my throat shakalaka. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Oh my gosh, I just got like the wildest disbursement of you know what? I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. I really don't appreciate that. You want to try to stop the messages. You want to try to body jump. You think that when people die they can't talk to them anymore. Well, you're wrong, and it's just gonna happen. So just stop trying to send your spells to me, okay? Your confusion spells, your shut up spells, just shut it down, okay? Because it's not working. It's not working. okay?
Assault.
Assault. Ooh. Okay, so listen, let's get started because I'm running late. We don't got time for it today because this energy is butt. It's butt. Okay? But I do it for you guys. I do it for the love of the game. I do it for God, okay? God's messenger. God hired me. Who gonna fire me? Nobody. Okay? Clive Davis. This guy reeks with disgusting feet smell. You guys don't smell his feet? He's disgusting. I smell him. Let me just play a little. Let me just play a little. Let me just play a little song for you. Okay?
Johnny, la
Let me just play a little song for you. Okay, you ready? This is your boy, Clive. This is his vibe.
Ask a serious question. Could you show me your underwear? No, just kidding, just kidding.
My co-host tonight is the great Paul Schaefer.
Wow, Whitney Houston and me co-hosting Friday night videos. Here we go.
All right.
Can you say how old you are, Judy?
Sure.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
22 years old. Yeah. You have the body of a 23-year-old. Have you ever talked to that?
You. Panic attack.
I love when you talk dirty. Don't move.
I'm not going anywhere. Here's a video by someone who I've worked with many times. Jermaine Jackson. What's the name of it again?
I think it's love.
Hey.
I think he's right, too. You got that dress on.
Dress.
Oh, it's great. That was fantastic. I wanted to have it taken in a little bit, though.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little too big, huh?
Yeah, a little bigger. What are you doing later?
I don't know. What are you doing later?
I thought maybe we might get a drink.
Great. Why not?
This is like a dream come true for me.
Thank you.
The kiss at the end, though. The kiss at the end. Oh my gosh. The kiss at the end. You guys. Asking her about her underwear. Talking about her dress size. Getting a drink with her. Her age. I also have a personal story about, not personal, it didn't happen to me, but my stepfather, he's a very handsome man,
Alice.
could have been a model, could have made, I don't know where he, how,
Cemetery.
I don't know how far he could have got in the entertainment industry, but he was a very attractive man,
Extrovert.
he's a model, very beautiful, but he can't control certain things. But he told me a story that he was introduced to Clive Davis, and Clive Davis offered him an offer for an exchange, a sexual exchange. Now, I don't know if he took it. He didn't tell me, he said he didn't, but I suspect that he did. But I don't know. He said he didn't, but this man is a disgusting man, and he held power, and it seems like these disgusting people get put in places of power, and then they take advantage of people, and they think that they
You are
can
appreciated.
talk to people the way they want, and they can steal their money. Let's just go through. So, let's just see. Oh yes, I also wanted to show you this. I found a picture of him at an event. And so the controversy is, or some of the conspiracy theories are, that he is an initiate of a group of a fraternal order of sorts that prays to or worships Saturn. Okay, Saturn worship, which is directly tied to the black cube, Saturn worship. In occult and astrological traditions, the cube is deeply connected to the planet Saturn. Saturn is symbolically linked to Kronos, the god of time. We all know that they affect time. It's called chronomancy. It's called chronomancy. Okay, the god of time, limits, and form. Fringe theories and esoteric circles point to the hexagonal storm in Saturn's North Pole as the astronomical origin of the black cube symbol. Okay, many modern discussions about black cube symbolism focus on its dark allegorical meaning. In these theories, the cube is viewed as a soul trap or a metaphor for a restrictive, hyper-controlled reality built by an ancient architect. And if you look right here in his ugly ass, I mean, this is the ugliest man I've ever seen, first of all. I mean, look how disproportionate his eyes are. And then look at this. The disproportion of his eyes is signs of head trauma, by the way. And then look at that. He's got a cube on. Is that a lapel? Is that called the lapel? I don't know what it's called, but he's got it on his. He has a black cube. Okay? And if we take facial recognition or facial. What do they call it? Facial reading. And we. So this is what he portrays to the world. And this is what he is. This is what he portrays to the world. And this is what he is. This man has no soul. This is a evil man. This man is he smells so bad. Nobody smells him? Devout! Devout! Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to see you. I did not expect this. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. But he is. Hi! Clive Davis is super smarmy looking. He's just so smelly. Okay, so he did just die on the 22nd, okay, of last month. And some of the major artists he's associated with and record labels is Columbia Records, Arista Records, J Records, RCA, Whitney Houston, Janis Joplin, both dead, Barry Manilow, Aretha Franklin, Alicia Keys, Santana, Bruce Springsteen, Aerosmith, Billy Joel, Patsy Smith, Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, Dionne Warwick, Kelly Clarkson, Jennifer Hudson's whole family dead. Well, not whole family, but lots of her family members dead. TLC, completely broke, left eye, dead. Okay, Pink Floyd, The Grateful Dead, Kenny G, Sarah McLachlan, Dido, Rod Stewart, The Kinks, Carly Simon, Eurythmics, L.A. Reid, Babyface, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Monica, Brandy, Ray J, Angie Stone. Wasn't Angie Stone complaining, just like TLC and Toni Braxton and many other artists, about how they make millions of dollars for these record companies and end up broke, having to file for bankruptcy? These record labels are not what you guys think. These record labels are just a permission slip to attach themselves to humans to be able to use and abuse them. It's cruel, it's unusual, it's ridiculous that we allow it to go on. Not to mention, let's just go to the controversy surrounding this ugly, smelly man. Okay, 1973, firing and scandal. Abruptly fired as president of CBS Records. Following allegations of misappropriating company funds through tabloid rumors heavily speculated about his involvement in drug-related payola and mob ties. And payola is, back in the day, they would pay the radio companies or radio stations to play their music. It is a form of pimping. You literally pimping out the artists, blackmailing them and abusing them with sexual abuse and assault at times. Okay? Artist contract disputes. Davis has drawn criticism over highly restrictive and recoupable artist contracts. For example, the massive success of their 94 multi-platinum album, Crazy Sexy Cool, which, by the way, I grew up on. Like, that was the anthem for all of middle school for my life. Okay? They end up having to file for bankruptcy when they're one of the most, they are the top most selling female record recording group ever in history. Why are we making our artists pay so much money for touring and all these things? I think it's time that we really change the way that artists are represented. I don't want to stop
My neck.
listening to music. I don't want to stop listening or watching movies. I don't want to stop being entertained and having people who want to entertain. The entertainment is a cesspool of evil people. They want our soul. Yeah, that's absolutely true. Okay, and the thing that we're finding and that we're tying all together is that it's much bigger than just making music. Okay, it's much bigger than money. It's bigger than that. 12-2 in the chat. It's bigger than that. It is a source of continuous energy harvesting. Okay? I'll sub and oh, thank you. I don't do tricks, I'm sorry. I thought that was a genuine sub, but of course it has to be exchanged for something, so I don't want it, so no thank you. Okay, so these entertainment that we did a reading with, I believe it was Heavy D, but we've done many celebrity readings, and there's not one single human being in the entertainment industry that has not been part of. Oh, thank you, Devote. Oh my gosh, I forgot that I made you a moderator. That it's been so long. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. There's not one single person in all of the entertainment industry for a long, long time. I'm talking since silent films. Since before then. It just comes in different packages according to the era. I was the number one. You're damn right, Devote.
Your screams will echo.
You were number one, always. And so, we need to stop this. This has to end. Okay? And Clive Davis ain't different. Okay? Clive Davis ain't special. He ain't some talented person that has an ear for music. No, he's a groomer. He's a assaulter. He's an abuser. He's a control freak. This isn't a good guy. Okay? And it's ridiculous that to even be heard by one person, you must be gatekept by someone who harbors this energy. Okay? Anyone who idolizes Hollywood shit is literally demonically brainwashed. And that's who we're trying to help, because we don't want any more people to be hurt by this industry that uses humans as a way to harvest energy through this stupid cult. It's a cult, you guys. The entertainment industry is a cult. And if you want to be heard, if you want to be seen by the world, just understand and know, first and foremost, you have to do a ritual. You have to participate, or you're not going to make it.
He will trick you.
He will trick you, or bad things happen. Even if you're like Whitney Houston and we did a reading on Whitney Houston. We should do another one. When you are no longer of value and you're losing your voice and you're losing your looks, you're not young anymore, you're not golden anymore. You've done so many rituals to be famous, you don't have any more life force, you're an empty vessel. You're no longer valuable. There's nothing you can give anymore. Then because they make more money when you're dead than when you're alive, and they run the risk of you talking or whistleblowing. Okay? Okay? So, now that he's crossed over, there's lots of rumors, okay? So, one of the conspiracy theories is that since he is associated with this cult, that they body jump. And from what I understand, and we'll see what the cards say, is that this can be done, but it can't be done anymore. And so the body jumping isn't done through, well, back in the day, before technology, now they're trying to like make clones of people so they can put the archontic attachment into the clone. And so that's why all these people have funny faces and they're like malfunctioning, and because it's not a divinely created vessel.
My name is Joseph.
It's a vessel created in a lab, and it doesn't house a divine spark. When a man and a woman come together, and they open the portal, and they
Please don't stop.
and they make a life, that is the portal that opens up a channel for a divine entity to come in and have a human experience. And that is by the divine creator. That cannot be replicated by any human or any archonic attachment. It cannot be duplicated. And so this is ancient. This is what they were doing in Atlantean times, even before then, because it's just part of the circle of life. Or that makes it sound very, that dismisses it a lot. I don't mean to just make it, be dismissive about it, but it's a spectacle to manifest itself in enormous ways. It's a perpetuity. It's a perpetuation. It's up and down, hot and cold. It's what, it's very hard to put into words because it's a big concept, but basically what I'm saying is the archons have been here because God put them here. God created everything. And God put them on earth to challenge humans, to call to human shadow sides to see what they'll choose. And the archonic attachments, it's an agreement, confirmation. It's an agreement that, okay, these are the rules and regulations. You can't do it without people's permission. It has to be permitted by them, even if you trick them. And so the archonic attachments don't have physical vessels. They want to have physical experiences, but they weren't allowed physical vessels. So the agreement is, if you play on a human's shadow side and they're unhealed and they're willing to allow you to attach to them, then that's, it's free will. That's the human's choice, and that's what they chose, and they have to live that out, and they have to go through that, and that's that. Well, in every cycle, it's a cycle. We're going into a golden age, so the Titans or the Archons are going to sleep, and there's a large chunk of time, or the largest cycle of time where we're allowed to live in our pure state of consciousness of divine energy, and we'll all be telepathic, and we'll all be in a heart space, and so on and so forth. There's been many of these cycles. Hey Scovie! Hey everybody, thank you for being here. And so the thing is that the archons have been doing this for a long time, and in every era, they use whatever is the most useful in that era to perpetuate attachment. And so in this era of entertainment, of being able to go through a record label and yada yada, and movies and music and all that, this is a particular era of them using it in this way. But back in the day, Shakespeare spoke to um, the um, the monarchy. Okay, the kings and queens were the celebrities of those days. And then Joan of Arc spoke about the kings too. The kings and the monarchy was um, the celebrities of a time for a long time. And so the celebrities were the kings and queens and the royalty and all the royals and all that. And so they were in the bloodlines, and so they were the ones that perpetuated the archonic attachments through ritual. And the rituals are ancient, they're from ancient times, and it's just from human curiosity. All the archon needs to do is to spark your human curiosity about the beyond. And when you ask a Ouija board, or you ask a human to do a seance or anything outside of yourself, instead of just sitting down with God and asking God, the archonic attachment, Spirit just said tell, and 6-6, the archonic attachment is going to read your mind, it's going to play on your insecurities and your need for control and power, and feed that because it wants to be fed. Okay, I digress. Let's get into it. Okay?
Destroy.
But some humans like it. Clive. I'm getting that Clive Davis was a person that was unhealed. Very, very insecure. Very. He liked it. He liked that. Oh, thank you so much, Devote. He liked acting in that way, and some humans do like it. Through our supernatural education, we are learning that some souls do come purposely to have a more negative experience on purpose, or that's something that they often gravitate towards because every lifetime they can't seem to get it right or to choose the light. Okay, and that's just part of the experience of coming to Earth. Okay, so Holy Divine Spirit and any archangel that would like to volunteer or participate, please protect my field as I invite the energy of Clive Davis into my field. Thank you so much. So we can get a higher perspective of his linear view. So let's do it, okay? Where should we go first? Ugh. It's such a yucky energy. Let's do the stickers. So some of the questions I have are, I don't know. It's like I had a bunch of questions and then I sat down and they all left my head because someone's projecting confusion spells to me. There's a bunch of imagination rules the world.
Speak.
Imagination rules the world. No, I can't read Puff Daddy. I can't read anyone who's living, who doesn't give me permission. You're not allowed to read people's energy without their permission. That's why the archonic attachments trick people into giving permission to be attached to them. Imagination rules the world. I feel habits, emotions, security, instincts, receptivity, feminine energy. And there's little lightning bolts on here. This guy, I'm telling you, this guy's an empty vessel. He has no vital force. His vital force has been gone for a long time. Okay? Bram Stoker, Dracula. This guy's a vampire. He's a vampire, I'm telling you. He has no vital force.
She killed me.
He's an empty vessel. A lusty, dusty vampire. Under I think reason. Dead inside. Love. Under love. Dead inside. I can't make it up. This is a person that has a sex addiction. This is a person that thinks that getting people to sleep with him is some form of power. Who's still alive? P. Diddy? What do you mean empty vessel? So, and I'm not an expert, I'm just learning along with you guys. This is what my spirit team has and what we've been... Oh, cool. Awesome. Yes, this is a safe space for everyone. All are accepted. When you participate in fertility rituals or any kind of spell work, rituals, even negative thoughts against someone else, it's not the ritual that needs to be done, it's the focus of deliberate intention. Because thoughts turn to things because we're electromagnetic. So say you're Clive Davis and
Watch out here.
I can't get love, I'll settle for lust. Well, that's the problem. That's the problem. That's exactly Clive Davis's issue, and people like him, is that they think that love is not something that is available to them, and lust is something that's controllable, and love is not. Okay, you can't control who you love, you can't control when you love, you can't control when it happens or who it happens with, but lust, you can make a concerted effort to control. So an empty vessel refers to people who constantly give their power away and become fragmented. Your soul is a divine spark of pure positive energy, and you never are not pure positive energy, but your electromagnetic field that you have, we all have it, it's part of our soul. When you continuously hurt people or do a ritual or take somebody's life or negative things that are opposite of divine energy, it takes a part of your soul every time you do it. Even on the smallest level of hating someone or being envious or jealous towards someone and saying, I hope that they die, I hope that they lose their channel, I hope that they get in a car accident. These are energy exchanges. And every time you hurt us, and every time you do that, that frees your soul, and that projects that electromagnetic burst to that person, and it hits that person, and it could hurt them. And so you become fragmented. The more fragmented you become, the less your vessel contains its own energy, and you have to, that's how you become an energy vampire. 7-7 in the chat, 3-3. And you have to constantly take energy from other things, and that's why artists and entertainers are so wanted, because they usually have a chip on their shoulder that makes them susceptible to archonic attachment, that makes them susceptible to giving permission, because it's an exchange. You want to be famous, you want everyone to love you, I'll make you famous, you'll be known around the world. Oh, I'd love that, then people will love me. And so they say you only have to do one thing. What do I have to do? And then it's a fertility ritual, an ancient fertility ritual. Does the ritual need to be done? No, it's about trapping the soul into guilt and shame or blackmail. They need you to perform something that would make you feel so ashamed to let anyone know, that it traps you to them, it binds you to them. And then you're forced to continue because you don't want anyone to know that you participated one time, or that you saw, or that you know that what they did, it's binding.
7.
Okay. What you mean is like, yes, voodoo and witchcraft, yes, it's part of it, but it's bigger than that. Okay, voodoo and witchcraft are kind of like two different religions. Isn't voodoo a specific type of witchcraft? I'm not a pro on either subject, but they are separate. I'm not a pro either. I think the one common denominator is ritual and hurting something like an animal, or basically putting your power outside of yourself instead of putting it into God. 8-8 in the chat. Performing a ritual to manifest something good or bad. The energy doesn't come out of thin air when you do that. It doesn't just appear and then something happens. No, it takes from your own energy field. That is what is powering it. But if we were to learn just true intentional deliberate intention with our thoughts and control our thoughts instead of trying to control outcomes to go in our favor that are not meant for us, that's God. But when you try to control an outcome that's not meant for you, good or bad, through ritual, whether it's
You are a
ritual of
blessing.
negative thought or ritual of sacrifice, that's not God. Okay? Not necessary, because there is white witchcraft, which I believe is God and earth based. Well, that's the thing. Like, these are all labels, but the common denominator is the intention. So, do you have to do witchcraft? Do you have to do a ritual? You can have rituals of exercise, rituals of eating well, rituals of drinking water, rituals of saying prayer. So, yes, but these are all just labels, but what the common denominator is that you're trying to manifest a particular outcome, but it's not the ritual that matters, it's your intention. And so God knows your heart, because God is omnipotent. God doesn't need you to burn things or to kill things or to be jealous or envious, because God is omnipotent, and God is very giving. This is a abundant universe. Everyone can win.
Children
Everyone
here.
can have a place in the spotlight. It's not a competition. Everyone can have what they want. But when you're hurting people, or you're trying to have control over people, or that's just there's two different energies. Okay, you can't. The reason they target people who want celebrity is because they have a chip on their shoulder and they'll say yes. Okay? Mistake, yeah. But they immediately realize that it was a mistake, because when you go to the party and you realize what the actual sacrifice is, it's too late to turn back. Or at least that's what they make you believe. Hey, the real Drake! Hey, thanks for being here. Yes, the intention behind the ritual, that's how to word it. Yes, exactly. So you can, God doesn't, these are all tools, and I use this as an example just to make it clear to you guys. I made a star water. It's to cleanse, connect, protect. I prayed over it. I did all these things that I was guided to do, to have something as a tool to help with my deliberate intention. Does this tool itself cleanse, connect, protect? No. But what it does is it puts my mind into a gear where I know that's what it's supposed to do. And so eventually you're not to need the tool anymore. You should just be able to feel it in your heart and be able to control your thoughts and redirect any negative thoughts, and have trust that if you match the electromagnetism of positivity, then you will attract positivity. Okay, but if you match the
There's
electromagnetism
nowhere left to
of
go.
negativity, then you will have to consistently perform negative acts in order to attract what you want, because you're consistently in a negative energy. So I hope we're all electromagnetic, so I hope that makes sense. I was gonna get my crush that looks like you a gift that might be tied to voodoo, but I'd rather her find someone else and not risk love spells. Absolutely. I love that. I love that.
Metal.
Do not do Spirit said metal. Medal. You deserve a medal. Do not perform love spells for people to like you. You will not like it. You will not like the outcome. They will end up hating you. She wasn't scared of the fire. She was the fire. Under I act Mars. Aggression, sex drive, energy, conflict. This man thrives in conflict. He likes to make people upset. He likes to cause arguments. He likes to make people question whether he has their back. This guy sleeps with every artist that he ever comes into contact with. He assaults. He's a womanizer, a manizer. He's a pig. This is a sick person under Jupiter. I grow, religion, optimism, abundance. Love spells are for Harry Potter. Yeah, well, oh, you know what? That's a good, thank you so much. That's a good spot of symbology. He takes people who have golden opportunity, who have golden energy, and then he perverts them and he takes their energy and he exploits them.
They killed him.
And he ruins them. People who are in Wonder Woman, Wonder Man energy. Okay? That's the point. That's why they want people in the entertainment industry, because people who have talent, who are innocent, who don't know any better, who have a chip on their shoulder, they house a certain energy that is desirable. Of Harvey Weinstein, absolutely, same energy. It's legion. It's this. All archonic attachments come from the same. They have a hive mind. That's why they all start looking the same, and they all do the same acts, and they all have the same, MO. It's the same thing. It was medal, medal. But I think Spirit was rewarding you with a medal because you chose not to do that. I think that was the... Oh, and look at this sideways triangle. I know that it's a cube, but if it were right side up, I would have got more of a positive vibe about it, but it's on its side. And this is under Saturn. I can't make it up, you guys. I'm telling you the truth about what is being done behind the scenes. I'm telling you, this is not a joke. Ritual. This is not a joke. This is for real life. Hollywood is dead due to their hive mind of agents telling them to be like Mark Ruffalo. My husband hates Mark Ruffalo. Like, something about him. This is under Saturn. I'm telling you, archonic attachment. This guy, he had an archon attached to him a long time ago. A long time ago, okay? I can't. You seem nice. Let's never talk again. You seem nice. Let's never talk again. Under I evolve. Yeah, this is somebody who's quick. Clive Davis thrives off of monopolizing people's careers. Okay? This person thrives off of that. They like to feel like there's no way that you can do anything unless through me. And the minute you give him any slack, he cuts you off.
Ralph.
And he makes you feel like you're nothing. Okay? Project Monarch. This is I can't even believe that we came to 2026 and we still allow this to happen. We still allow... You know what? Let me just tell you what I think it's Project
Doris.
Monarch. It's either Project Monarch Butterfly or Project Monarch. Project Monarch Butterfly? Oh, Project Monarch. That's what it is. No, wait.
My name is Betty.
I just had a light flicker. Government Project Monarch. A classified CIA mind control program. The CIA has infiltrated, the government has infiltrated the entertainment industry long ago during World War II when they flew the Nazi scientists over to live in America and continue the experiments that they were doing with occult knowledge. It's the same shit they were doing over there, you guys. They're just doing it over here, and they're getting archonic attachment help. Did you know that they were back on the MK Ultra trials? Just watch them today. Oh, devote. Let me write that down. Because I'd like to listen to those. Absolutely. Where do you think that they learned these tactics? Where do you think that they were told how to do these things? The same as Aleister Crowley, the same as the Queen's warlock advisor, John Dee, because these people have ancient artifacts or textbooks of ancient rituals where they can summon an archonic attachment.
Listen carefully.
Who claims to be able to give them cosmic knowledge and power if you do this. But that is the trick. That's the permission slip. The minute you believe that you have to do that to get cosmic knowledge is the minute you permiss or you give permission to an archonic attachment to attach to you. It did start, I think it started way before then, but as far as America and the CIA and the entertainment industry, it definitely started with the Nazis and flying and Project Paperclip and flying them over and continuing to do the experiments they were doing over there in Nazi Germany. They were doing the same. Hitler was obsessed with blonde hair, blue eyes, because that's how the archonic attachment appeared to him. Because that, in his mind, that was his insecurity, that he was an ugly, short man, fat and ugly with dark hair, and to him what was beautiful was blonde hair, blue eyes. So that's how the archonic attachment appeared to him in his mind. Your eyes don't actually see physical things. It's your mind computing the information in the image and projecting it to your eyes to see. And so archons live in the fourth dimension. They're in the mental plane. Their specialty is to read your thoughts and read your insecurities and then use them against you. Okay? Oh yeah, happy 4th of July. Why does the CIA always honeypot me? This isn't even supposed to be in there. Okay, and so these people make deals with the CIA to continue these tactics, and the CIA teaches these moguls and these top executives how to do these rituals, and they come together, all the powers that be, they come together to learn new rituals. Okay, well, and plus they have to do them at this point to even receive any abundance. Okay, so he's saying right now, that's my whole goal, to recruit. It's about recruitment. You recruit people to trap. So the soul trap, Earth is not a prison planet. It's the archonic attachment that makes you do things that you feel guilt and shame about. Because that's what the archonic attachment eats. It eats the red ray energy, and it needs you to do things that you're not proud of in order to keep feeding off of you. Or to have a human experience, because they're not allowed vessels, because they're in the red ray. God says all beings that God creates have an opportunity at any time to choose to heal and live in a different ray. Even humans, even souls that want to be human. But when you do something that makes you feel guilt and shame, and you cross over and you never divulged what that is, and you never overcame that or healed that wound or chose to do differently, when you cross over, now you're stuck. They have you bound to them because you're bound in guilt and shame, and many people do not go home when they have unresolved guilt and shame. Okay?
Nasty.
Did you nasty? Did you ever watch the docuseries on the Montauk Project? I use mind control too. I did a long time ago, but I wouldn't mind a refresher because I do recall. You know, I always confuse the Montauk. Actually, that would be a good thing to do. I always confuse the Montauk Project with the Philadelphia experiment, where they were messing with time travel. I've probably been sent 2 or 3 honeypots, but I refuse to lower the standards I hold myself accountable to. If I didn't, I'd have none at all. Absolutely. It was connected to that. Okay, absolutely. DeVoe, I missed you. I hope you're doing well. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so this isn't a good guy. Okay, this guy's dead inside. So tell me a little bit about your history. What is it that, why are you like this? Let's see if we can start off with an image, because the picture's worth 1,000 words. Me too, it's so early here, so I'm not normally... Oh, well, I'm so happy you decided to be up. I know I do my readings very early because I have kids and stuff, so on the weekends at 6 a.m. just seemed to be like the best time for me. But I just saw the black and white checkerboard. Alright, tell us more. Please help Joey with the ladder. So it happened to him because...
No, get out.
No, get out. So I'm getting something about... there's also black smoke above him, about him being in a burning building, metaphorically. You know, it started because he was put in a place... It's perpetuated. There's a 3 on his hat. There's a 3 on his hat right here. Yes, Mark, absolutely. You're still up from last night. Were we partying all night or something? Well, guy, if you feel like you're dead inside, then you need to ask your spirit team or ask God to help you call back all the pieces of your soul that are fragmented, and you will slowly start to bring it back. But you have to choose to do that. And it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's not going to be fun all the time. Tell you that. So he's referring to something that he was put through. He was put through the fire. He was put in a position, and there's also a hole in his shoe, which makes me feel like financially, you know, being put in a position where, get out of
1960s.
town. 1960s, thank you. Okay, because it says right here, in 1973, he was fired for embezzlement and payola. Okay, so he caused a fire for himself because he was stealing money from the record label. Okay, but, you know, all of the embezzlement and all of the payola and all of the racketeering, and he never ever served any time. Why is that? Because he was put in a position to make a deal. You don't want to go to prison? Well, do a ritual. And you'll never, you know, all you have to do is do a ritual. You know, every full moon of the...
This place is sacred.
This place is sacred. Just come once a month on a full moon to this sacred land and do a ritual with us, and you'll never have to, you know, you just make sure you bring people, recruitments, make sure you bring other people to the ritual. You know, that's all you have to do. Oh, that's all I have to do? Okay, no problem.
The woods.
Because they don't arrest their friends. Well, if you're... See, the thing is that if someone were to come up to you and say, do you want to be rich? And you say, yeah, what's the catch? And they said, well, we just need bodies to attach to so we could feed off of them. So if you can bring bodies to us so we could feed off of their energy like a battery source, you can be rich. We'll alter the fourth dimensional plane, and we'll show you how to we'll bring people to you that will bring you money, and you'll have this and that, and all feed the beast. Yeah, you'd say, no, that sounds crazy. I don't want to do that. Okay, that's too much for me. But if you were to say, I have a way for you to get out of this, all you have to do is just bring a couple people, recruit some artists, bring them to this location, come to a party, drink the wine, get a little loose, and whatever happens, happens. You'd say, hell yeah, that's all I have to do. That's all I gotta do. It's hard for them to find bodies, okay? They don't care if you embezzled, or that makes you even better. The more susceptible you are to negative emotions, thoughts, behaviors, patterns, that makes you ideal. Okay, so he's saying right now, I had a hole in my shoe. I was in debt. I was in trouble. I was hanging off a building of a fire. I was on fire.
Regina.
He was saying he was in trouble, and so it says, please help Joey with the ladder. Okay, so he wanted help. Well, if you want our help, if you want to avoid jail time, let's make a deal. Okay, so that's the origin of this ridiculousness. Okay, so what else happened after that? And he said the 1960s. So it could have actually been, I was just going to say, it could have actually been before the 1973 thing. And then he continues to get in trouble when he doesn't do a ritual. You get in trouble when you want to not do a ritual, or when you want to walk away, or when you want to stop doing it. Then, you get energy.
There's 3 of us.
Then you get, 3 of us. And look, there's a 3 on his hat. There's 3 of us. Okay, if you ever want to walk away, if you ever want to break free, if you ever want to try to be associated but not do a ritual, no, that's not going to work. Then you get put in the news for assault, or you get your record tanks and you don't make any money, or whatever needs to happen to put you in a position to need them again. It's a codependency. Okay, if you're rich, you walk. It's just how it is, unfortunately. Well, the powers, the people at the top are the ones with the bloodline archonic attachments that have been attached to the same archonic attachment for generations, since ancient times. And that's why they think that continuing the bloodline helps perpetuate the cycle of archonic attachment. It happens through ritual abuse, through guilt and shame. It's a red ray continuity, and everything that they do has to be associated with the red ray, which is about security and confidence and attraction and sexuality. Okay. And when I was going to say probably before 1960, this card came up. So, this is it's a pattern, you guys. This is a pattern, okay? And look at the pattern on the back of the board. This person has a mother wound, okay, from childhood, where he was considered, not the golden child. He wasn't given the attention. It all stems from a childhood wound that makes you susceptible to these things. To archonic attachment. They prey on that. I can't make it up. They prey on that. They want that. Okay? Like the Pied Piper. They pray, his deal with, did you see that video with him and Whitney Houston? She's 22. And he died on the 22nd, so that's funny. She's 22 in that video, and he's coming on to her all kinds of ways. They're clearly sleeping with each other. She clearly had to sleep with him in order to even get past the gate. But you're 22. You're what do you know when you're 22? With this sleazeball who's been bald his whole life. How can, look at him. Oh my gosh, look. That's Clive Davis. That's his energy. Okay? Surrounded by rats. Playing music for children. Drawing the children in. Like it's some kind of fun dance. Oh, I'm gonna throw a shakalaka. Telling you guys. It's not what you think.
A bad spirit.
A bad spirit. It's not what you think it is. It's surrounded by devils. Somebody who hasn't grown up. You know, somebody who started at the bottom and was looking for validation from women. And he notoriously admitted that he's bisexual. Okay? It's fine to be bisexual, but you have many artists that you repress their sexuality and make them be something they're not, and then they perpetuate that, and then it's like this whole cycle. Guy, I don't know. I'm not focused on your gift for your crush. I don't care, honestly. Give it to her, don't give it to her, whatever you want to do. But I don't think this is the time or place to be bringing it up. I think that's weird. I think that's kind of weird behavior. Okay? Yes, he was bisexual. And he made, and in his old age, he's like, I don't think we should be judged about that. And we shouldn't. If we don't think you should be judged about it, and we think that gay artists are just as valuable as straight artists. But it's the perpetuity of, you know, you're not going to sell albums if everyone knows you're gay, because, you know, they need to believe that they can have a chance with you in order for you to sell more records. It all comes down to fucking money all the time. Okay? So Lisa Left Eye Lopez, Whitney Houston, Luther Vandross, Angie Stone. These people are all dead. Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston's daughter. These people are all dead because of Clive Davis. But why? What was the problem? Why did they have to go? You're a therapist and your target's crotch is your deeply troubled patient. He said busy. You're a therapist and your target's crotch is your deeply troubled patient. And 22. Didn't I say Whitney Houston was 22 and he died on the 22nd? 2. Something about twos. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Something waits.
Something waits. 22 and its association with Saturn? I can't make it up. I can't make it up. Hello, Deathhawk. I'm bisexual too. They buy me things and can't help but become attracted. In numerology, 22 is a master number known as the master builder in association with Saturn. Revolves around combining visionary ideas with Saturn discipline, structure, and hard work to create lasting, tangible results in the physical world. So that's the divine. That's the angel number. That's the divine part. But if you're doing fertility rituals, then you do the opposite of divine energy to gain material wealth. Okay, it's a inversion of divine concepts.
Sinful.
Sinful. It's a
Are you afraid?
inverting of divine concepts into the red ray. You know, they have to invert it because that's the kind of energy they eat. So they want it to be a specific way, okay? That's why when they get young people, they use fear, because fear is a food source for them. They don't want it to be sad, they don't want it to be excited, they don't want it to be confused, they want it to be scared, fear, like horrified. You know, that's the energy they live in. And so it's about an inversion of angelic concepts or divine concepts into red ray concepts. It's the Rush Korsakova, another victim of brainwashing trauma.
Sir.
Oh, absolutely. There's been so many. Okay? So there's something about the crotch is deeply troubled. There's not one human that in this world, well, maybe there is, I don't know. Clive Davis, apparently, but fear is energized. Yes, energized blood, absolutely. It's not.
Disarray.
It's not even the blood. It's the human thinks, when a human does a horrible act. Like, let's just say Whitney Houston. Okay, Whitney Houston gets signed to a horrible contract, and
I did not believe in this.
and in small writing in the contract are things that she has to do forever, for eternity, to maintain her status. Okay, that is associated with the Saturn principles. Okay, in the red ray energy. And so those are fertility rituals. So you're a human who's forced to perform fertility rituals. Now you have a choice. You can either be black out, you can be on drugs, or you can be sober. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter, it just needs to be done. So a lot of the celebrities choose to do drugs or alcohol or become drugged so they don't remember, but they still participate, because the CIA also created substances for this exact purpose, to be able to knock people out but still have them functioning, just so that it just shuts down that part of their brain. Okay, but it doesn't mean they didn't do it. But that's the thing that we're bringing forward, is because just because you don't remember that you did it doesn't mean that you're not affected by it, and doesn't mean sacrifice doesn't mean that. That's why all of the celebrities go crazy. That's why they become deeply troubled. That's why they start to break down mentally, because they're participating in things that they know are happening. Even if they don't remember, they still know partially that they chose to participate in some way, or they know about it. And that breaks you down mentally. You need a therapist when you're done. There's not a lot of people that walk away unscathed. It requires a lot of healing to overcome ritual abuse. Trust me, I know. I am a victim of ritual abuse as a child, and it's only through God that I was able to overcome that adversity and not perpetuate it. So
you're a nightmare.
So when you're an adult and you don't have access to God, and you don't believe in God, and you don't have a relationship with God, and or your guides to help you learn, 999 in the chat, to help you learn how to control your thoughts and how to control your joy and how to choose joy. When you're not in relationship with them, you choose to do things that you think will make you happy, but those things don't make you happy. Okay? So right here, you're a therapist, and your target's crotch is your deeply troubled patient. So the fertility rituals are specifically done through sex acts, and it's because of the red ray. The red ray lies in the genitalia area, and so for men it's the butt, and for women it's the vagina. And so it's about eating that energy and using it to perpetuate abundance.
I'm so confused.
And so when you're using up all your energy, you have to take it from other people. So that's why you have to recruit the humans in order, or the children, in order to have a new source of energy that hasn't been tapped into. Because you've given all your vital force away, you're used up, you're an empty vessel. Okay? 999 saw it yesterday. Spirit, you're a nightmare. Oh, all looks nice, but she looks sad and unhappy. If I look sad and unhappy, I would hate to see what someone sad and unhappy looks like. Sounds like Madonna's recent level up. Oh, you're talking about Madonna. Okay. Brittany looks like she's split to deal with it. I wish I could read Brittany's energy. I can't, and I tried to look for someone close to her, but I wasn't really feeling the vibe of it. So Brittany is a really sad example
Yours.
of what can happen. You get inexplicably and extremely aroused whenever you look at your target. 104, 144. When you have a talent and you're innocent and you have not performed a ritual, 111 in the chat, you are desirable. Okay, so they target people who have talent because the talent is a divine talent. That talent was given to that person in order to be a divine influence, and so they want that, because they don't have any divine force in that way, because they choose to keep eating in the red ray. They don't want to choose to heal. There's a lot of karmic debt they've incurred. That's why they keep body jumping, or
Destruction.
why they try to make clones, because they don't, if they reincarnate into a human vessel the old school way, that life that they incarnate into will have a lifetime of karmic debt to pay off. And so they like to body jump in clones nowadays, but back in the days, what they do is they get a human to sign a contract and perform a ritual, and then the archonic attachment that was, let's say in Clive Davis, goes into this human. Even though, you know, they're grown up, they're an adult, they do a transfer. So that person's soul is now stuck in purgatory, and the archonic attachment steps into the vessel, and that's when they start to like change, and their face changes and morphs, and they start acting all weird and stuff. Okay. Tell us more about the people you've left in your wake. Crawl across the floor to your target like you are in Quaaludes. Yeah, I told you. Drugging people, perpetuating addiction, wanting people. This person wants to be the source of power for all of these artists. You're not going to do anything unless you go through me, okay? And by any means necessary.
Marble.
Give them any drugs they want, give them the alcohol, give them the substances, whatever. 99 again. Do push-ups, and every time you push yourself up, scream a different sex position. Clive Davis has assaulted every single person he has had a hand in for their
voice.
career. I promise you, because he's a vampire. He reminds me of Lou Pearlman energy. Make a very loud bird sound, fly over to your target, and start pecking at them. Yeah, this is somebody who purposely pokes the bear and gets their target, or the person, the artist, to react a certain way, because because he has an archonic attachment. This isn't a human anymore. This is a person who houses an archonic attachment, and the archonic attachment thrives off of aggression, chaos, conflict, anything to get a rise out of you. So what did some of these people do? what were some of the conversations they would have together? I know we had plans later tonight, but this bar mitzvah has a champagne slip inside, so I'm not leaving. Something about being Jewish. I don't know. Is Clive Davis Jewish? I don't know. Let me see. Oh, I also have a song. Is Clive Davis Jewish?
They're shouting out.
Yes. I'm not saying anything against Jews, but what I am saying is that there are particular Jewish people that practice this type of Saturn worship, and I don't know why. I'd really like to get to the bottom of that. I'm not sure why, but I don't know. Champagne reminds me of Champagne Poppy, which is Drake, so that's weird. I don't know. And I think Drake is Jewish too. I don't know why Drake's coming up in this reading. I don't know why Drake comes up in the readings. I think Drake watches a lot of the readers. I don't know. Yo, I know we had plans later tonight, but this bar mitzvah has a champagne slip inside, so I'm not leaving. So something about never being able to leave. So the artists that are associated to him that have crossed over is because they wanted to leave. But you don't leave unless I say, okay? You don't leave until I say you're ready to leave, okay?
Serendipity.
Saturn worship, never heard of it. Well, let me... Did you see the pin I showed everyone? Let me show you. I found the picture I used for the thumbnail had... so here's him. And right here at the bottom is a cube of Saturn on his lapel, or whatever it's called. It's a cube of Saturn. It's religion. It's basically the archonic architect, or whatever they want to call themselves. It's the archonic attachment. It's not a real religion. It's not based off of God. It's based on the inversion of God concepts.
Sin.
Let me show. Spirit said sin. I have it right here. Saturn worship is in the occult and astrological traditions is deeply connected to the planet Saturn and linked to Chronos, the god of time, which we all know that they do chronomancy.
Celebrate.
Which is they use dark psychics and stuff to and astrology to predict future timelines and to control the outcomes of things. Chronomancy, the mystical art of time manipulation or temporal divination. Spellcasting to pause, speed up, or travel through time as real-world occult practice of divination to determine the most auspicious dates for taking action. And we did a reading with J.P. Morgan, which is associated with this, and he was quoted as saying that billionaire or millionaires don't use astrologers, billionaires do. So
I'm a child.
So this is ancient. It's nothing new under the sun. This is just a different way it's showing up in our era, but it shows up in whatever era it's in to be perpetuated. Ooh, again at my throat. Okay, so Spirit's revealing that these artists all go because
They called her a witch.
they wanted to leave. They wanted to leave, or they wanted to call him out, or they wanted to break away. But he says, no. Damn, are you alone? Because you've got my interest. And so that's the whole point of these record labels. They hold over these artists' heads that what they do is they get an artist and they sign them to a binding contract that says, you owe us money. We'll front you, it's basically like loan sharking. We'll front you the money for tours, press release, studio time, all of that, but they inflate the price so much, they overcharge so much. And then when the record sells, they take all the money from the
Oblivion.
sales and they give you like 1%. And then and then that it perpetuates itself just like that. But you know, they're on TV and they make music videos, and so you think that they have all this money when really they're going into debt because every time they make an album, this is the same process that happens. Okay? And so, Dan, are you alone? Because you got my interest. So he's basically like a loan shark, and he holds over these artists' head how much money that they owe him, and that he'll get the money they owe him when they die. You're more valuable dead than alive. 7-Eleven in the chat. That's horrible. You don't want to do the ritual anymore. You don't want to make music for me anymore. Well, then you owe me money. About to go steal some stuff. You want anything?
Mistrust.
Because he steals from them in these binding contracts. These horrible contracts that are set up for these artists. It's horrible. These artists are so talented and they sign their souls away and they can't take it back. Can we get back on track and talk about the group project that's due tomorrow morning? And so that's what draws people back in. That's why they come and they go and they come and they go, because what else are they going to do? They literally got to sign a contract with a major record label, and they want to continue this lifestyle and this way of life, but they're gate kept and they're not allowed to. But it draws them back in because they want to continue
Evelyn.
having a career. You can't blame somebody for wanting to have a career and doing the only thing that they know how to do, that they signed up for. So they always come back. But eventually, you know, they start to break down mentally, because every time you do the ritual or you go to a party, you're either getting assaulted. The deal is you get assaulted or you do the assaulting. That's the deal. That's it. Point, period, ends in the sentence. Period, ends in the sentence. You do the ritual or it gets done to you. Or you recruit someone that you know it's going to get done to, or you stand around watching knowing that you are perpetuating ritual abuse. Hey babe, at the drugstore picking up tampons. What size vagina are you? Yeah, supplying drugs, you know, making sure that you're loosey-goosey and willing to produce-y. Now's not a good time. I got my dick stuck in the jar of peanut butter again, because archonic attachments, they read your thoughts. It's not that the archonic attachment, the archons aren't evil per se, okay? They do live in the red ray, and they do eat a specific type of energy that they refuse to change, okay? But what the entity does is read your thoughts of what would make you feel guilt and shame. And so, what the heck are those cards from? Oh, they're a game. They're called Who New Phone, Who Dis? Who's that? Who's that? Oh, hi my baby. Were you outside?
Yeah, Dad said I can.
Oh, okay. What happened to your face? Oh, is that drool? You got a white mark on your face.
I know.
What are you doing?
Can I watch it to kids?
Upstairs.
Okay.
Where's Daddy now? Running?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
Okay. Okay, so now's not a good time. I got my dick stuck in the peanut butter jar again. So the archonic attachment makes you do sex acts that are weird, that are not divine, makes you have sex addiction, drug addiction, control addiction, you name it. Whatever the addiction is, bring it on, okay? And so it makes you do things that you think in your mind is something that you desire to do
Hi.
because it brings you pleasure, but really it's the archonic attachment doing things that it knows truly subconsciously bring you guilt and shame because it needs you to be in that energy, so when you cross over you can be bound to them and they can use you on the other side to like spy on people and to body jump and go into the clones and to live forever. Okay, they want to like live forever. They're very I'm not laughing, this is very serious, but it's like ridiculous. This needs to end. We're going into a new age where this isn't going to be viable anymore. We can't allow these things to happen anymore. Okay? What else did you guys talk about with the people that you've hurt and crossed over? Hey, I want to apologize for being a dick. I was watching Bridget Jones' Diary and feeling real emotional. It's too bad that we're not taught about the supernatural spiritual side of our existence,
I can't protect you.
because God can't protect or show up for people that incontrovertibly continuously monopolize their own soul. Okay, because God is 144,000 hertz, pure positive energy. God can't come down all the way down into density and protect you.
Don't forget me.
Especially when you have forgotten God, when you're not acting in godly behavior. We're not matching. This is an electromagnetic universe. And so there's two polarities, there's a positive and a negative. If you are someone who gravitates more towards the negative because you're unhealed and you can't take accountability and you don't want to look at whatever childhood wounds you went through, then you will perpetuate negative behavior, negative patterns, and God can't come. You're not going to have a relationship with God, okay? And you're going to have to do negative things in order to perpetuate your abundance. You have to walk all over people and step on people and hurt people and tear people down and so on and so forth. But if you want to attract positivity through the God force, then you have to match divine energy. You have to think positive. You have to want good things for people. You have to be kind to people. You have to have compassion, and you have to be excited and have love in your heart, and so on and so forth. Okay, and so what God is saying is that people who are deeply emotionally hurt on a deep level,
Dining room.
who feel like God must not exist because this happened to me, those are the people that are targeted. Okay? And hey, I want to apologize for being a dick. And so Clive Davis is somebody that gave up God a long time ago. This is somebody who doesn't believe in God or believes that their God is something different than actual God. Anything that asks you to hurt people, to burn things, to burn animals, kill animals, to steal money, to bring people down, anything that matches that energy is not God. Okay? God is omnipotent. God doesn't need you to do those things to know your heart.
Balance.
We've become so greedy. Absolutely. Yeah, it's like money has become the God, and the archonic attachments are betting. Their plan is to get you far away from God in a place where it's harder for you to reach God. But it's never impossible. It's never, God never denies anyone's healing, but you have to choose it. But if you believe, oh, I've already done this, this, and that, so I'm too late, I might as well just continue. You know, that's Clive Davis. That's his mind, that was his mind state. Well, I've already come this far, and I'm a millionaire,
Salem.
so I might as well just continue, you know, doing it because it's like too late now, and, you know, God abandoned me a long time ago. No, that's not true. You didn't come here.
I killed people.
I killed people, he said. You didn't come here to be perfect. You didn't come here. You are already without your vessel, you are a perfected state of pure positive energy. You came here to have a limited experience, to have emotional depth, to have something emotional happen, because emotion is energy in motion, and it's the strongest way and the most powerful way to evolve your soul, to propel your soul into its divinity. You know, as divine beings of non-physicality, we want to have limited physical experiences so we can see how long it takes us to remember the light within us. But when you continuously choose to enjoy being this way, it gets you further and further away from God, and he wants to apologize. I don't know if we should, I mean, apologies can always be accepted, but there's a lot of damage here, okay?
Out.
So the long thing I'm trying to say is that you guys need to clean up your emotional hang-ups that give you guilt and shame. Stop ignoring them. Stop pretending like it didn't happen. Stop pretending like it doesn't affect you. Stop pretending like it's not ruling your life and it's not controlling your behaviors and your patterns. Stop pretending that you don't have them, because it's the exact thing that it's causing your negative emotion, your negative thought patterns, your hatred for others, your need to control outcomes. Just
Inspiration.
it's the key component that keeps you away from healing and perpetuates your continuous cycle of abuse and to yourself and others. Okay? There has to be, God, too many demons and too many doing the devil's work. Oh, trust me, there's plenty of us that are working for God, that are showing up, and more every day. So the balance is happening right now, and Spirit said balance. The balance is now. Now it's balancing out, because now we have more people becoming activated that are choosing to be more in the positive polarity, to match God frequency, to give the divine messages, to bring truth, because you can't heal
Go
what
forward.
isn't revealed, okay? You have to reveal to heal. Okay, we'll look in the good news for any last words. So, he's absolutely part of this cult. He absolutely participated. He absolutely was a Pharisee, okay? Luke 7:8. Jesus at the home of Simon the Pharisee. He was invited to have dinner, or he invited people to have dinner at his house to sit down and eat. He invited women to be sinful. He invited men
Shush, listen.
He invited men to be sinful. He heard Oh, he invited women and men who heard the voice of God into his house of Pharisee. He brought sin and jars full of perfume to stand behind him and to bow at his feet. He enjoyed when they were crying and wetting his feet with tears. He demanded that his feet be kissed. Otherwise, he wouldn't pour the perfume on them. Meaning, he wouldn't get them through the door if they didn't kiss his feet, if they didn't bow down to him. He saw this. He saw himself as a prophet.
I can't move on.
He touched women and men, even though he knew it was sinful. They would speak up to him and say, I have something to tell you. And he would say, yes, tell me. What do you want to tell me? And then he would say, you owe me money. I lent you money. Animal. And I can't move on, he said. He would hold that people owed money to him. And he would make them do sexual acts on him that were sinful in order for them to show their devotion to him. Okay? People owed him money, and they would try to stick up for themselves and try to say, I have something to tell you. Well, yes, tell me. And if they talked back to him, and if they didn't pay him back, he would cancel the love they would get. So he would try to salt. He would make them salty, and he would shut down their performances or their concerts or their shows, or he would, any way he could do to cancel them, he'd cancel them. Okay? And then when things weren't happening for the artists, they'd go back to him and beg for his forgiveness and give them one more chance, because he was so powerful that he would blacklist them.
Where?
You are right. That's exactly what I did. I turned the women and men who came to beg at my feet into water, into emotional buckets. And then I would dry their tears, and I'd welcome them back as long as they stopped fighting against me and they continued kissing my feet. I provided olive oil for them and covered them with perfume as long as they tell me how great I am, and as long as they continue the many sins that have never been forgiven. I show them little love, and they come and do my sins.
Darkness.
I let others watch who are sitting at the table, and have them watch as I sin against them. And they place their faith in me, and then I tell them, you are saved, I'll save you, go in peace. Fucking sick, man. That is so sick. You're disgusting. You're a disgusting person. You're disgusting. Acts 4:5, the believers show their possessions. The group become believers in one mind or another, not of heart. None of them say what is done here or what belongs to what. None of them talk about what Clive Davis owns, that Clive Davis owns them. None of them can talk about it, but they all share it amongst each other, with one another, everything that they had and the great power that they have witnessed during a ritual and when they were being poured with the blessings of Clive. So that's the thing, is Clive is like, well, if you don't sin with me, if you don't let me sin upon you, I'm not going to give you the blessings. So he's literally saying, I have the power, kiss my feet, do this in front of groups of people, let me R-word you, let me assault you, let these people assault you too. You know, he's sick. This is sick, but they are believers because there's something that they've witnessed due to these situations they've been put in that scares them. It scares them. They have been witness to something that they're not allowed to talk about, that they've actually experienced, and been hung by when they tried to break away from, because they have bore witness to some kind of possession. They've possibly witnessed Clive Davis become possessed through a sex act. Good morning, Robin. Good morning. That's like so much entertainment and money is tied to demonic energy. So there's something about, we're not talking directly with Clive. I was getting that in the beginning, but I wasn't sure if I should say it, but I'm really getting it now. Clive is in a truth booth, and God puts people in a truth booth that have this level of, I guess, sin, you could call it, because they have a lot to review. They have a lot of truth to accept. And the reason why guilt and shame is used to keep you bound is because if you don't go home, then if you don't go home and have another reincarnation, then you never overcome the debt. And you become unbound to them. But the thing is that once you cross over, it is not true that you are bound by the guilt and shame. That's just something that you're unable to let go of. And so once you decide in the crossed over state that you're ready to let go of all the pain,
500 years
all
ago.
the pain you perpetuated, then you'll cross over and you'll go home and you'll be able to reincarnate and start paying back the karmic debt you owe. Okay? But that can't happen until you reveal the truth about your nastiness. And so he's not directly talking to us. This is God and his guides and stuff, confirmation, because God said he ain't ready yet. Confirmation. He ain't ready yet. He's still enthralled, he's still in destruction. Yeah, balance, the alchemist. He's still in a energy of destruction, of desire to create imbalance. Okay, he's still attached to archonic attachment, and that's why he's in the truth booth still. He's not ready to talk directly to us. God won't allow that, because then we'd priest in reverse.
They blamed me.
A negative priest, okay? I believe purgatory is where you stay until you clear yourself of bad energy. Absolutely. And you could call it purgatory. You could, Spirit calls it the void. It's an empty space. It's not here, it's not there. It's in between. Because you're living in both worlds at the same time. So, and once you let go of your guilt and shame, which is like earthly density type of emotion, because pure positive energy is always forgiven, and every experience is valuable, and recognizes that we come here to have negative experiences. Okay? If they won over you in this life, they're gonna come again in next reincarnation, an endless chess game. Would the universe have to align in a certain way so he can reincarnate to atone for that? Well, it's his choice. Once a soul crosses over, they have to choose to believe that they are worthy of forgiveness. But they run from that, because whatever they did is so dense. It's so emotionally taxing. It's so bad that they truly believe they don't deserve forgiveness, which God said that's not true. God forgives everyone. It's up to us to believe that we are worthy of forgiveness. But if something you've done is so unforgivable, it's harder for the soul to accept that about themselves, and that is what keeps them bound. And that's what the archons know. That's what they know. Confirmation. They know about that. To learn the lesson they missed. Oh, you mean when they reincarnate? Well, that's the thing. You can do it as many times as you want. You can do it as many times as you want. There's no limit into how many times it takes. And that's why a lot of the people who are waking up now have already gone through this process. They've gone through hundreds, thousands of lives. Even myself, I've gone through over 500 lives. And so and I'm just speaking for myself of what I know about myself and what I've discussed with God, is that, that's my purpose, is to help people cross over and so they can start this process, because there's a lot of souls that are stuck in purgatory that have not even been able to start the process of karmic debt. So once you go home, you can reincarnate and then do a lot of the lives, perpetuate or
Yes, I can.
or repeat the same things they did in another life. Yes. But over time, eventually, you start chipping away at one lesson at a time, and 100 years to spirit is like that. It's like that. There's no time, so everything's happening now. So for us on the other side, 100 years to do a life, it's like, when I see it, it's the adventure. When I see it, as a soul, we view it as an adventure, as something fun to do, and so when I see very advanced souls that have done many lives and who are trying to learn the lessons, that it's like boom again, again. They're like sitting in a pod having a dream, and they're like, damn, I failed, next one, damn, I failed again, next one.
You're okay here.
And so you do as many as you need to until you get to a point where the light starts to come into the crack, and you start to choose a little bit of love here and a little bit of love there, and it starts to
Twins.
snowball, and then the lives become, you're starting to chip away at that debt. So it takes as long as it takes, but we need the souls to get to home first in order for that to happen. Okay, they remain in purgatory until they are clear. Yes, if they don't think they are forgiven, they actually remain in purgatory even if they could move forward. Absolutely, exactly. Okay. So Spirit says, the thing with Clive is that the tailor, attention to detail, pride is the number one source of not being able to heal. When you feel like, no, that doesn't affect me. I'm gonna show all those people in my childhood that I could be rich and famous and I don't need them. Well, that's prideful. Like, who gives a shit what they think? Like, who cares if you're rich and famous? What does that prove? You still steal from people and you SA people, and like, what if they knew that about you? I bet you don't want to tell them that, so it's like, so he's saying that pride was a major determination of his vices, and taking control, needing control. So what that says to me is that there is a point in his life, probably in his childhood, where he felt like he had no control. And control is an illusion. You don't have control anyway. And so you might as well just release that notion that you have it, because nobody does. And the minute you let go of needing to control outcomes is the minute you start to realize that you never had control to begin with. Faithfulness. I'll leave it on this note. I commit to my mind, heart, and will. I am devoted to the needs of my soul. I trust in myself and God and the universe. Absolutely. Clive Davis is just another casualty of putting his power into something outside of himself instead of sitting with God and asking God. That's all you need to do. It's all you need to do is just ask God. You want cosmic knowledge? You want to overcome your pain? You want to become successful in a particular way? Ask God. If that's your path, then God will show you the way. If it's not your path, don't force paths that aren't meant for you, because then you're trying to control an outcome that was never destined for you.
Poltergeist.
Okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you, Devote, for being here. Lucas, Drake, Robin, I love you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.